my favourite, like one of my favourite actors. Poor dude, he's just getting, he's getting up there. He's getting older, but we were feeding him paragraphs. But it is what it is.
Because his brain's got to the point where it's probably just mush now. So many years acting and that, and then you get lazy and. What's his name? Marlon Brando used to have an earpiece in.
I was just about to say that. Sorry. Yeah, in the you can see like photos of set on The Godfather. Robert Duvall's like wearing a giant thing on his like a giant like. I've forgotten what they call, but you know what I mean.
And there's tools, there's tricks for everything. In fact, you just reminded me. I thought, what are the times when I forgot? Like what? Because there's been things. I've literally in the movie Alpha, I had to speak another language that was a completely created language. That had to replicate a primitive language. Obviously, we have no recordings.
Which no one knows what it is anyway.
Yeah, no one knows what it is, but we still had to spend months learning it. And there was one day where I couldn't, they threw a new paragraph on me, and that's not something you just go, oh, just go back to my trailer and get this in. It was literally, so it was a crying scene. It was on blue screen. I was acting to not the dog, but to a rock, and I had an earpiece in. That's acting. So that's the best acting lesson ever. But when I can't cry, in front of everyone, get the menthol stick and put it under my eyes, and I said, oh yeah, I gave you the good shot of.
You don't ever try. Just do what you got to do, and if there's a time you can't cry, then they'll just stick something in your eye, probably a finger or something. Like generally menthol, right?
There's tricks around.
There's tricks about everything. So when you accept I'm going to be nervous, I might look silly, then go, okay, if I'm going to look silly, I'm going to make sure I look silly, right? And not that you're going to do anything, but if you put that in your head, what do you got to be afraid of when you're standing up in front of people doing lines? Because they're feeling exactly the same as you, right? What's your name?
Me?
Oh, don't you dare say that.
No, I didn't look behind me.
No, you didn't, but you got fear. You're looking going...
Next, the whole crowd is just going to everyone say the name at once.
I think it's because I was waiting for it to come as well. When it finally came.
Yeah, there's the fear working. It worked. Have you got a question?
I do. I have a few. The first one's, so you guys have talked a lot about building characters. When you first get those audition sides, what do you look for in the script to go about?
When they're shooting it, to see if I'm going to be here.
Good one to start.
And how much time I've got to learn it. What, one day? Shit!
Yeah, that's actually it. I would say because most of the time you receive sides, you're not going to receive a script. There's going to be a little bit crossed out at the top. Drain that of everything you can, because that's the closest thing you have to the script of what happened before. Yeah. And maybe after there'll be something crossed out. But mainly, whatever 3 pages you have, drain that of all it's worth. That's where the small print comes into play. Write on it who, what, when, where, why. Drain that of all it's worth. But you kind of have to fill in the gaps. Yeah. You have to fill in the gaps sometimes too.
See, if that was a scene, what Kodi just did then, you have to drain a scene of everything, and we're having a scene, I'd be saying, what do you mean by that? You're asking your character, why am I saying that? Why am I saying it? And he would say something like, well, I want these actors to understand they've got to pull it apart like a jigsaw puzzle and put it back together. Now that sounds intricate, right? But you can get quick at it. It's read it and understand it, but you've got to understand why you're saying that line. Why am I saying to that person, hey, how you doing? Am I doing it like, hey, how you doing? I really don't like you, and what are you doing here? Or am I seriously going, hey, how you doing? Or has he got cancer and I'm going, hey, shit, no, I probably shouldn't have said how you doing.
So writing next to the lines is the transparent, subconscious, real thoughts that are happening. And even sometimes, if you just want to go that extra forward, write, why is the other person saying this? What are their subconscious thoughts? And get your
know
what,
that
when,
character
why.
well, you know what they're
really
about.
looking at the motivations behind what each
and just remember,
character's
everything's a reaction, right? Like, what was your name again? Jacob. Right, see, I used real examples. Like when I pointed at Jacob, that was a perfect reaction of his brain so quickly went, he's fucking looking at me. Oh no, he's not someone behind me, right? That's what acting is. Like, it can't take forever, because if we're sitting here and we all heard a loud explosion out there, the first thing we're going to hear is the explosion. The next thing we're going to do is look, right? So when you're acting, you've got to look at all those things that are written there and go, am I looking at this person talking to him, or are they walking in and you'll find so many actors in scenes in a class will sit there and someone walks into the scene and they'll sit there, you know, clearly they've just walked in, but they haven't even noticed them. They've walked into their lounge room. You would know someone if they walked in. If you were sitting there in your lounge room and someone walked in, you'd be exactly what you did. You'd be like, oh shit, you scared the hell out of me, right? But they're trying to just play the words. You've got to understand the whole thing. If that was a scene between me and Jacob, and I said, you're next, and his character is a very nervous person, doesn't want to do anything, and he went, what, me? That's perfect. He's just played the character. If that wasn't him. That's what you've got to look at when you're preparing auditions and scenes. And remember this, you're not making the movie, you're just giving them a sample of what they're looking for, and so just do the best you can, and that's what I say to actors who are just starting off, you've got to get on things like Star Now, Casting Network. Casting Networks is a commercial site, so anyone can do a commercial. You do not have to be a great actor to do anything like that, because commercial is selling stuff, right? There's plenty of ways to get yourself out there and find work, to get on set and experience what it's like to forget a line, what it's like to stand there and have to stand on that mark, make sure you're in the light, make sure you do this and don't move too much. It's all nerve-wracking, but the more you do it, right, quantity makes you better. I met an actor the other night, an author, we were talking, and he's sold over 1 million books. Now his books have been bought by a big company. He's self-published, he started when he was 18, and he just said, it's quantity. He said, quantity makes you better. The more you do, the better you get. And then the thing I saw on Instagram the other day, do 20 minutes a day of something and you'll get better at it. So when you take all these quotes and put them together, you want to act, you want to join an acting class, you go, what do I want to do? I just want to experience to see what this is like. I'd like to maybe try and get better and work on TV or film. But start at the bottom. There's T.D. Jakes is an American preacher, right? And he's out there. He's a black American big. He's just even if you don't believe in any faith, this guy is the best because he's funny. But he talks with presidents. He talks with high-level people because he talks common sense. And he says so many people try to get on the stage without coming up the steps. And it's just the best analogy. You can't get on the stage unless you walk up the steps. You can't get onto any stage unless you take the steps. If you take the steps, you'll get on the stage. If you cheat and get up on the stage, you'll probably fail without taking the steps. So all of it's a steps. Like acting is a step, classes, continually looking for work outside, doing your show reels, everything is a step. And accepting the fact that I'm going to probably make a mistake. I'm going to probably forget my lines one day. I'm probably going to look a bit silly. When you have that already there, it's like Joe, the shit actor, he doesn't even worry about it anymore. He just does not worry about it. He just comes in and his auditions are getting, and now people are calling him, they're saying, oh Joe, you did that short film for me a while ago. I've got a paid film I'm doing in Sydney. Man, you've really improved. I saw you. See, that's 8 months. If he can do it in 8, you can do it in 2. Because I said, geez, Joe, this has taken 8 months for you to get to this point. I said, you drive me nuts. And he goes, oh man, I'm really sorry. He goes, I'm so shit, aren't I? I went, yes you are. Because we're talking on the phone. Like, I go, what's wrong with you? You can't be a finance manager at a bank and be that dumb, right? And he goes, I know. But we do it on purpose to get it out of him. And he's just improving so much. Like, so much. Why? Because he just sticks at it. And he goes and does all these short films and he looks back at them and he goes, but he learns. Like he did this scene, he did an audition, and the camera's there, and the scene was, he's talking to this guy, he goes, hey, it's all written here, like, he just pulled out your pocket, it's all here, you know, this, and this, yeah, you want to fucking see it? He goes, it's all here. I got up to the camera, and all you saw was a big red palm on the camera. And he sent it to me the other day, and he goes, how bad's that? I went, don't you ever show that to me. Except put it on your YouTube channel, mate.
No, this is that killed me, that I actually thought, this guy must be a satire genius, and he's pulling the strings or something, because he sent out a picture, he goes, hey, do you reckon this will be good for this audition coming up? The character description says he has a mullet.
I've got to get my phone.
You have to get it.
Where do I put my phone? This is something I'm really
and
good.
he,
Right there!
He had a mullet in
a
plastic bag that you buy from a Halloween store. And Dad, arsehole, said, yeah, do it with that. That'll be good. And he sent it through to us. Fully serious, actually acting really good this time, but now he has this wig on, and I'm like, oh my god, incredible.
It was like, it was Eric Bennett,
but he knows
comedy roles.
Like the good thing is that again, he can take the jokes that we do, and he's aware. And then when you say, "Mate, that's like stupid, you shouldn't be doing that," he's like, "I fuck it, I knew it.
Yeah,
but it is so.
I might not be able to find it, but it was
so good.
It was ridiculous.
And we all do it. Like we all.
Yeah, but see, he can laugh at himself doing that, and you've got to learn to laugh at yourself.
That's his best quality, is that he can take all of those things.
He just laughs. Like, I wish I could just show you that little audition that he sent me the other day. He goes, "Do you remember this?" See, this is Joe. He looks amazing. Like that's him. Like he's got a great look. That's a modelling thing he did up in Sydney, right? And he didn't show this to his agent, right? This is what you're talking about. It was for a travel log, but he's got a good look, right? He plays a lot of hard roles. This is the girl that was in the photo with him, right? I said, "Oh, that's awesome, Joe." I said, "Did you send it off to your agent?" And he goes, "No." I go, "Why?" He goes, "Because I thought I might offend someone." I went, I had to sit there and go, what are you talking about? Offend who, Joe? He goes, "The girl was in." I said, "Are you a dickhead or what? You got paid. It's a commercial. It's going all over Australia." So you're thinking that if you post that on your Facebook page, she's going to get offended when she got paid to be with you, so it goes all around Australia. I said, "Are you nuts?" And he went, "Ah, shit, I did it again." See how strong his fear is? That's how strong his fear is. That's what fear will do to you if you live in it and believe it. It will stop you doing everything. And he went, "Boy, I can't believe I did that." I went, "Okay." But that's Joe. He's an amazing guy. And, Thierry, and I'm sorry you had a question, mate.
That's okay, we're gonna...
Sitting up the back going...
No, I'm not. We can wait for everyone else. I'll go last, this one.
Sorry.
I'm just trying not to forget it.
Have you got
So that's the question.
Oh, okay, yeah. Obviously you mentioned that you were a pro wrestler before you were an actor. How did you kind of...
you said wrestler.
Why?
Just pro.
How did you kind of navigate letting go of that career and moving into something else?
I kept doing it. I was wrestling while I was acting. See, that's what I mean. I didn't care. I did not. I just kept wrestling because I loved it. With the risk of getting hurt, which I did once, but I just kept doing it. I was wrestling, I had a lawn mowing round, and I was acting. I never, don't laugh, mate. Right? His sister, he was shit scared of the wrestling. Like, his sister's 5 years older than him. She's an actress. She loved the wrestling. Loved it. She would be up in front, and he'd be sitting there, I don't know, how old were you? 8, 7, no, 5. He'd go, "Oh, sit at the front." She's in the front going, "Yeah, go on, man, Max, kill him." He'd go, "Oh, I want to go home."
It didn't compute. Like, I don't understand. Why is it so scary?
Why is my dad in tights beating someone up?
Dudes would come out with masks, like screaming in my face with a bat. I'm like, I just really don't understand what's going on here. Why is Dad here? Why do I go to school? Dad's cooking, mowing the lawns, and then every Friday he turns into a superhero, and I'm in the Dragonfly in fucking
Tullamarine.
I don't get it.
So that's where you get all your deep.
But see, I think that's why, I loved acting, because I'm focused on it, but I still do other things. Like I do all these other things, so I'm not just sitting there wanting to be an actor. I went to classes, I came to TAFTA so many times when I moved back to Melbourne, and then it was through TAFTA that he started, because I just, what's your interest? And then Scott, what's your interest? Apart from what you do with writing,
I do competitive cheerleading. I'm going to the World Championships in 2 months.
I'll just sit there and tell you.
No, the reason I ask is
awesome.
because I'm kind of like, cheer in itself feels like a full-time job, because you're thinking about it day in, day out. You're training.
Throw each other up in the air.
Yeah. Doing flips, all that stuff. Like, it takes a lot of time, and then it's kind of like, I'm not really sure how to navigate that as well as acting at the same time. So I just kind of wanted to know what your experience was.
Just doing both, mate.
Doing both at the same
when
time.
You're acting and cheerleading when you cheer. I got caught one day. I was mowing lawns in the area we lived in Adelaide, because I was born here, but I left when I was 16. And I'm started a whole lot of businesses. You know, I was a train driver for 13, 14 years, locomotives. I've done bouncing, scrap metal business. I've done lots, right? And so I'm mowing lawns one day, and the Garbo's coming down the street, and he got the bin. He goes, "Hey mate," he goes, "Are you Mad Max? I thought I was watching you wrestle last night." So me, instead of going, "Oh yeah, I just mowed lawns," I went, "Oh yeah, mate," I said, "My mate's got this business," and I said he was stuck and I needed to get some aerobic training in, so I said, "I'll just come mow your lawn." There's no way I'm telling him that I'm a superhero on a weekend and I'm mowing lawns during the week. So I just lied to him. That's what
the movie The Wrestler is about.
Yeah.
They captured that so well.
Who's seen The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke, right? That's such a good movie. Such a good movie. And because he was filming in New Mexico and Mickey Rourke was filming next door, I went up to Mickey and I spoke to him. I said, "Hey Mickey," I knocked on his door, and he actually came out on the caravan. I said, "Oh, my son's next door." It's a lie. He was next door. I said, "He just wants you to sign this." He didn't even know what I was doing. I just wanted to know Mickey. I said, "I just love you to sign this." And he goes, "Yeah, always, yeah, I always want to." And I went, "Oh, by the way," I said, "I love The Wrestler." And he goes, "Oh yeah, thanks man, it's really good." I went, "Yeah, I was a pro wrestler for 40 years. Fuck that, get in here." We were in there for an hour and a half with him, me and his mum and Mickey talking for an hour and a half. Yeah, well, I don't tell you everything.
I'm doing more
You're
of that
making
tonight.
movies over the other side thinking your shit don't stick, so we were in there for an hour and a
Where's my
half.
autograph from?
I'm thrown somewhere. I just said, but he was the best guy, right? The best guy, like just talking about. He was so honest talking about wrestling, how it messed him up. He got so many injuries, and boxing was less injuries. But you see, when you see that and you meet people beyond their screen persona, that's when I teach in classes. Don't try to be anything you're not. The screen will make you look like what you are, but you've got to be really who you are, right? Just stick to you, because the screen, that camera will make you look like something that you go, "Wow, that was me," right? So it's just stick to who you are, accept the fears you have, and don't fight anything. Just keep moving beyond them. Like, who's ever bungee jumped? Who would be afraid to bungee jump? Yeah, see. So he remembers when we went to New Zealand and shooting the Slow West film over there. We're driving, we get picked up at the airport, driving past one of the biggest bungee jumps in, I think it was the second biggest in the world. I went past and went, "I'm doing that." He goes, "What?" I said, "I'm doing that before we leave. We've got 6 weeks. He went, "You're not doing that." I said, "Yes, I am. I'm going to wake you up one morning and we're going." Because I need. So what I did, I used my acting. I prepared myself. I visualised all what they tell you to do. That, just visualise it all the time. I'm going to do this, do this. One morning, about, I think it was the last week before we left, right? Yeah. He's sound asleep. I went, "Hey, we're going." He goes, "Oh,
5 a.m.
What? I go, "Bungee." And he goes, "Hey, you're fucking not." I went, "Yes, I am." Up you get. So we went. There was no fear whatsoever because I already planned it in my head. So if you plan in your head about not having fear and being up, what do you do before you dance? Do you get scared, or do you, "Oh, I know what I'm doing," and a little nervous, but...
Like, it's funny that when you're talking about, like, actors putting on a persona, I think I have a dance persona.
Of course you do.
So I used to teach classes as well, so
Well, there you go.
even if I was having a shit day or whatever, I'd put on this, like, "All right, let's go," and
Yeah,
that's
that's exactly
yeah.
right. And that's sort of just stepping over that. So when we went there, there's everything there, and I'm weighing myself, getting all the stuff. People out there are jumping off. There's this little, I think he's a Chinese dude. He was in his suit with a tie. He was probably about 80. And this is his bungee jump, right? I'm watching him. You tie up, then you stand on this little platform, and he would just, they'd go, "You got to jump out and do that." He would just go and fall off. He'd just go, and then just fall, and he'd go, "Ah!" Then he'd come back up again, and he'd go again. I watched him go 3 times. He's just like, "You ready? Go." That's what he did every time. He wasn't, I don't know what he got out of it, but he's bouncing all over the place. And so I get up to that point where I'm fine. I'm like, this visualization, like the dream stuff sort of thing, it's what it's like. Yeah. It works, because I was totally prepared for that fear, right? And I get there, and then I stand on that little piece of wood like that, looking down the river, and that's when I shit myself, right? So that'd be like class sitting there, coming up to do your scene. Yeah. It's that sort of thing. But I just went, I'm doing this. And he said, "I'm going to count to 3, and when I say 3, you go." So I always did what I was told. He went 1, 2, 3, and I went poof, like that, and I put my hands out like that. There was cameras filming, and I did it, and I'm actually shit. And then when I left, I went, this isn't scary. It wasn't scary. The scariest part was standing on that platform, and then I saw this other guy doing circles and flips, and I thought, oh, what an idiot, I'd love to do that. I did that. I've still got the photos. I'm doing twists and upside down. Then I'm hanging upside down. The guy in the boat goes, hey mate, you on Sons of Anarchy? And my blood's running to my head. Yes mate, I am. He goes, well, I said, can you fucking get me down? The blood is running to my, he goes, oh sorry man, he's having this conversation, I'm standing upside down with everything falling out that way. And he let me down, he comes running down the stairs, he goes, what was it like? I said, it's quite boring really. I said, except for the platform. I said, it wasn't what I thought. See, it wasn't what I thought. It ain't what you think. The fear is not what you think. Because the minute, you just did it then. And I'm sure you didn't sit back and go, I did it. You just
I
did
did
it.
that.
You did that
My
when
heart's still
yeah, no,
like
you
that.
did that when you're standing here, but you covered it, right?
Yeah.
So I did that on the platform. But you're alive, you're okay,
Yeah, I
everything's
think so.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's, you can have all those fears, but don't let them live in you. Don't let them stop you. Because Joe, the issue Joe has is his fear comes to the auditions, comes to the scenes where he freaks out. But we know why it's happening. We've talked about it, and now he's learning to let that go.
Also to empower yourself in terms of any emotions. It's a lot like the movie Inside Out. If you remember that, it's like these little coloured beings that live inside the kid's head.
Yes.
Basically, that's a kid's version of what Carl Jung and all of these philosophical and psychological analysts expressed years ago in novels about archetypes. It's how we're built. But to utilize this information and not just be stuck with it and be unknown to it is every time you have an emotion arise, and this is ultimately what mindfulness is in Zen practices and meditation and anything of Eastern philosophy and tradition. Mindfulness is simply going, okay, I have an uncomfortable emotion coming up. It could be rage, it could be
Or fear.
fear, it can be sadness, and you just sit with it. You go, okay, there's the little guy there, he's doing his thing, but I'm over here, I'm consciousness. That's all you ever really are, is just pure awareness, pure consciousness. That's what you were born as. Empower yourself, and this comes handy in acting, but it's great to practice mindfulness in life. I'm reading a book right now by Thich Nhat Hanh called Mindfulness, Transformation and Healing. And it's literally the best acting lesson I've ever read. It's just how to be literally in the moment, because that's what Buddhism and all that kind of stuff is about. So that is good to kind of study. But yeah, when fear arises, it's really healthy to not try and bury it and put it away in a box, because that's when it comes up when you least want it to. That's when it comes up when you're upset. It's to sit with it. The best way to let something go is to actually do the opposite and sit with it. And then eventually, just through cause and effect, it's going to pass on and you'll be in a new moment. But yeah, do some visualization and awareness of your emotions and stuff like that. Sorry, what was your name? Yeah, you?
Me?
Yes.
Connie.
Connie, my bad. What was your question? You did the me thing.
Okay, so I think I forgot my question, to be honest with you.
That's all good. Why are you here? What brings you here?
Oh, okay, yeah, because I'm thinking to have a acting class, and then this TAFTA coming to my inbox, and I was like, oh, that's great, such a good time. Because I was busy renovating the house, just sleep deprived as well, so at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I'm here. So yeah, I've been trying to go to acting, but it's a lot of things that challenge my way.
Yeah.
So, and then I've been interested to go really deep and serious this time.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, you're doing the right thing. You're just jumping into opportunities that
Yeah.
are right. And as we've said, like if you can eventually get to the point where you're mixing this with direct experience of actually being on some sets, and I guess it takes off. It kind of takes off the weight off your shoulders, as Dad said, if you work on maybe some college things, some student things, because you're all in a space where you're collectively learning and you're working together. So that would be, I think, really healthy you and I'm sure a lot of people here to just get direct experience. That's
Yeah,
like
I
any
think,
craft.
see, I would just go straight. How you do it is on Star Now is the best place to get all these unpaid shorts. All you've got to do is put up a little photo of yourself, a normal photo, and I would highly suggest looking on TAFTA's. Have you got, because they've got a lot of classes coming up with beginners and seasonal stuff, haven't they? So what's the best way to people to find that? Just look on the TAFTA website.
Yeah, most of the stuff that's available is on the website.
Yeah, I would do that and do both. Like do the classes and go put it to test on a little short film on the weekend. Do the classes, and all of a sudden you'll find yourself coming in and just being so excited to. I was always excited to go to class. I wasn't afraid. I was excited because if you've got to be a pro wrestler, you can't be afraid. You can be a little nervous, but extrovert helps, you know.
I think you'll find once you are kind of initiated into it and the feeling of it, you're going to find the little things that you're addicted to. Yeah, just like and it's going to become something, that excites you a lot.
Well, Maria's never acted, right? And she did a showreel course a while ago and got some scenes. And once you let go of thinking what you can't do or what you just let go and do it, and all of a sudden you think, shit, that worked. Did you get all the questions?
Viv, what was your question?
So, my question is more towards how do you navigate an emotion for a scene? Let's say it's a crying scene, right? And let's say you get that emotion down packed. Firstly, how do you find that emotion to cry? Particularly if, let's say, you've handled a lot of the for the lack of a better word, like traumas in your life, you've dealt with it properly, and now that you're approaching the scene, and you try to revisit those emotions, but you're like, I've moved past it, I've grown from it.
Yeah, I get that.
How do you find yourself back to channeling that emotion again, and also sustaining it throughout the entire multiple takes that the director needs to
I have the answer, but I can't put it into words, but it's a really actually good question, and I'm going to turn to you because it's something I've experienced, whether it's, you're the coach, he's the one that I call when
I was actually going to turn to you, because go boom, boom, boom.
When I hit a roadblock like this, like you've worded that well, I've actually experienced that before, where I've had my emotional release of a certain thing, and that's actually kind of what I was feeling.
It's all different though, that's the thing.
Yeah.
See, every script you get is going to be different, but you've done John's emotion class, right?
Yeah.
Okay, can you just explain to us a little bit about how John teaches the emotions? Because
he teaches it the different areas of where an emotion comes from when you're breathing.
Yeah.
So there's a different emotion when you breathe from your chest, or from your nose, or from deep in your diaphragm, from down in the cockles. That's where a lot of the crying can come from.
Yeah. And so he teaches the physical side, right?
Yeah.
Which can then make the body get into
that bit, and then he does a monologue where it's like a roller coaster ride, but then he flips all the emotions as well. So
so you've got all different emotions going through there.
Yeah. So what should be angry, you actually do as happy.
Yes. Yeah.
And you flip it. So.
See, when you do, and I'll answer the question again in a minute. But see, everything's different. And that's why I say the simple approach, which doesn't mean digging into past trauma, is how everyone here cries, you all cry differently. So when you work out how you cry, next time when you're crying, just take a notebook and go, I do this, and I do that. Even if you're having an argument with someone, just go, hang on a minute. What are you doing? It's working out how I cry. Okay, so write down how you cry and then practice it one day when you're not in any emotional state, and you'll find the body starts to believe that if the body only does what you give it, it'll think that you're upset over something. It'll think that you're crying over something, because
sometimes it just needs a little trigger, whether it is, staring a bit too long that you feel the tears come, or it is the push start of the diaphragmic breathing. But it's just a kind of push start that will get you into the flow, which is an automatic response that, okay, now I'm crying. But it is a deeper question in terms of, like, sometimes you can be blocked by an emotion because you're not dealing with it in your real life, or other times, you can have gotten past that emotion. I'm going to be honest, that's what I was dealing with on the last like really dark thing that I did, I really felt in myself, I am sick of feeling this way. I don't want to feel like this anymore.
Yeah,
and that's
he
where
rang me up and told me.
ultimately I have to take that into my responsibility that I've signed a contract to a job. I have to perform. But my thing was after this, I will plan my fate a lot differently, and I'm going to try and do different things. But for that, I had to deal with that, and it was a tough day, like coming up to it, because I was dealing with it, I was taking it more as a personal thing. But again, that's where just the freedom of Alfonso came into play, and he's like, there's, just reminded me of everything that I knew. There's no expectation. How it's written here is not something that we're trying to perfect, and just be in the moment, be free. Whatever comes, he said, I trust
and I
your
think we're talking about that, and I said, don't cry, just get him to stick some shit in your eye. That was my coaching.
Yeah. Honestly, I did, and I knew I was going to do that because I didn't need to go to that really deep place in myself for this scene. I just wanted to use the kickstart of just like the menthol, and then honestly, it turned out to be something really amazing. But yeah, you might feel sometimes that like I'm done.
The French DOP came running in from the other room. Kodi, that was beautiful. It was like once you can go back there.
But yeah,
it's acting. You can bring people into your world. Oh, that's something I was going to say. It's something I bring up in, especially the class we just finished, but other class you've got to bring people. See, you at the moment, thank God, you're in my world at the moment. I'm bringing you here because I'm talking to you about something, so you're focused. But when you start talking, we go over there with you to hear your story. So it's that back and forward. When you're doing an audition, you need to hold that space. Doesn't matter whether you're doing it in class or you've got to bring those people over here with you. And the reason I say that is because I've heard it off directors who booked me from doing. Back in my early years of 10 years, I was getting booked on Neighbours and small roles, like 10-worders, they used to call 10-worders, 20-worders, and that support guy is in and out. And then I got booked for this big job. It went for 6 months, and the director said to me, I want to know what you did, because I've just booked you on a big role, and I've booked you for the last 10 years on small roles. He saw it, and he wanted to know. I said, well, I just started using music and movement, to just rehearse my scenes around home. And he said, oh, I get it, because he's a composer, he's a classic mute. He said, I get it, the music. And he said, because when you and Jasper, the other actor, we're just on the floor, scrubbing the floor, pretending we were pirates on a pirate ship, right? It was a big kids TV series, and he said, I was there with you on the ship, even though it was just a plain bit of floor like that. See, that's when you're in the moment. When you're in that moment and you're on the ship and you're scrubbing the floors and you're pirates, it's kids playing games, pretty much kids playing games. So when you can bring everyone into your world, then you're getting to the point where people go, oh, I really want these people here. And I can tell you it's happened, some of you guys wouldn't remember the show, but All Saints with John Howard years ago, right? So I went to Sydney to do an MEAA class for free. And when I was up there, I was manifesting I wanted to get an audition while I was there. And my agent called and said, you've got one. And so I was preparing this scene, and I did it 2 days after the course finished. And the girl sitting here, the director was over there, and Peter Eisenberg was filming the audition. So the reader's sitting right there. And my scene was, I'm trapped in a scrapyard in a compressor. We had to fight this guy, and this big machine's crushed me, and I'm going to die. If they release me, the blood will just go through your body. So I had to call my wife on the phone, and they'd all just left me, right? The kids had left, everyone had left. And so I was working that scene, and it was just, I'm talking to her, and then I just started crying, it's coming out. And the girl, when we finished, goes, oh my God, she goes, it must have triggered her, right? She must have been through, so I'd been through it, so I could really draw on it, right? And she went, oh my God, it was so good. So anyway, we did it again. And I did the same thing again. That's the trick of acting, is to be able to bring it back again, do it again. And you might not cry, but still be in the moment, and the emotion will be there. And she couldn't say her lines anymore. She was crying that much. She's playing the mum on the phone. And then she went, finished, she turned around to the director, I'm so sorry, it's just really well. And we did it again. She only got 4 words out. She said, I can't do this, I've got to go home. I thought I got the job, I did. But it affected her that much, she walked out. She couldn't get, so something must have happened to her in her life, but I brought her right in with me, and that's what you've got to do. You've got to be in your moment, not worrying about who's watching you, you've got to be here. So when we're talking together, it's a scene, it's like, they're all with you, like, that's it. That's being in the moment, it's being prepared.
It feels the closest thing to meditation when I'm doing a thing like that. Everything disappears, and you just go into yourself and into emotion, and it's a dance with emotion, it's a dance, it's a play, it's something really beautiful, and it is hard and draining, but it's something really...
And obviously you all have a passion for it, because that's why you're here, you know, asking questions, you know. And don't let age come into the equation. Like people go, oh, but I'm a bit older. Well, what, you don't see older actors on TV? Or what have you been watching? You know, like Play School? Like, oh no, there are older actors on that. But, you know, don't let that come in. You can act at any age. Any age. That's the whole point, you know. So, can you put your hands up who's never acted, ever, been on set or anything? Oh, so you've all done a bit, right? Okay, great. So, you know, the reason you're here is asking about what is TAFTA like. I've been involved with TAFTA for, I got back to Melbourne probably 26 years, I reckon. I used to do classes here, courses here, casting director workshops, and then I started teaching here and that. Like I've always enjoyed TAFTA because it's the people they get in, Tom McSweeney, and it's just great. It's a great space too. They've got all these different rooms here. You've got that room next door where they're doing the show and stuff. There's another room down the other end where John's creating a series, which you're on, aren't you? Or you're still rehearsing it, aren't you?
Still rehearsing.
Yeah. So, you've been at TAFTA for a long time, mate. You're here. Yeah. What do you like about TAFTA?
Exactly what you said. John brings professional people that are actually working in the industry, and you know, you're getting a professional. That you're in touch with the industry. And the other thing is the screen test classes, the directors, there's no, you know, they're true to life people.
Yeah, you are directing and casting.
And for me personally, the screen test classes, they do work because I did John's classes over 3 years, 3.5 years, way back, his part-time classes. And then I did Lou Mitchell, from More of Hope. And it was my first screen test class, and she saw me on the Saturday and she got me in on the Tuesday for an audition, and I got the part.
You see, that's what happens.
And that's how it can work.
That happens, I'm telling you, if you're really focused and you love what you do, that's why it's important. That's why you're doing the casting. That's why Joe's coming back again to see Thea for the second time. And you just got to keep accepting what they tell you. If they go, look, I remember your last one was great, that was terrific, but okay, write down, go home, and then fix it again. Because you're not the Olympic athlete. You're the guy or gal who's swimming in the shallow end of the pool with a coach. It's going to take years to get anywhere, but if you love it, you'll do it. Yeah. You don't have to quit everything when you start off. You don't have to go quitting your job and all that stuff, you know. Just make sure you really love this and you want to do it, you want to train, and make it work for your lifestyle. And if you really start to see things changing, then that's your choice too. I've never had a permanent job since I started 36 years ago. That's why I had all part-time jobs, because I wanted to work, so I had to make sure that I had jobs where I could just stop and go, right? And that's I'm just not going to lie to you, it's a tough part, you know. So, but at this stage, whatever you're in, just do it. Just come and enjoy the class. Not only is it good for acting, it's good for your own personal confidence outside in life. You know, and you make friends. You make a lot of good friends in class, you know, like these guys here, 14 of them, the other 13, they're all friends now, and they're all hooking up together, and you know, one's next door doing that course, and they're going to keep in contact and keep themselves busy training.
When you guys work with a fellow cast, and let's say there's a aha moment, I want to do this, it's not in a script, do we really need to ask the director permission or the fellow cast permission?
Yep.
So you can't do spontaneity.
No, don't get into that. Like on short films, yes. On short films, non-paid, you can say, hey, can I? They might go, yeah, okay, try. That's a bad habit to get into. It's a good habit. You can do it, but don't do it on a professional set because if you're on there to do something and you're an actor who's well known, yeah, you can go up and say, look, I don't think this is. Can I try that? Yeah. But when you're new to the game, do the job, get known, and then doesn't mean you can't go up to the director and go, look, I'm a little bit, this doesn't seem to work for me. He might go, look, just trust me, it'll work, and that's what he wants to do. He's the boss. You know? But independent, like student films, you have a lot more freedom to experiment for sure. Of course, ask them, don't just change it without telling them. Ask them, look, that doesn't work for me, can I change it? They might go, yeah, that's cool. Or they may have written and go, no. I don't know, you just got to try it. But those films you can have a little bit more freedom, but not on...
professional
yeah, no, it's just, you can ask, but if you're not known, I don't know if I'm just saying this wrong, but I'd say definitely ask the first AD. The first AD is the director's go-to. So you've got first, second and third. I would ask the second to ask the first AD, give him the idea, so and he'll ask the director and it'll come back to you, they'll go, no, just leave it. Oh yeah, that's a good idea, use it. Always go through the right channels.
Okay.
You know, second assistant director to ask the first assistant director and then he'll ask the director.
Unless you're given full freedom to, like, unless the director said, guys, go off script, like, show me something new, have fun with it.
Oh, okay.
Kind of rare, but then you can obviously do that.
Class, when you've got your scenes here and you're given scenes, you've got a freedom to play with those scenes. You might want to change the character's name or something, you know, like if you pick the scene, if they've given it to you, probably stick to it. But you have a lot more freedom in class because that's why you're here, to experiment. And I don't think John's ever going to yell at anyone or any director or anyone here say, oh, don't do that. Don't go crazy and change the whole thing because they want to see you if you're capable of learning the dialogue and presenting it how it's meant to be.
When people talk about a naturalistic performance, which seems a little bit like an oxymoron, is there an example that comes to mind for you of like, this is the blueprint, this is an example that I can use and reuse for either of them?
You go first because mine's really simple.
I won't have one. I don't, because I don't really idolize actors. I don't try and it's not.
Are you asking how we do naturalized performance or how?
You're saying an example of?
Yeah, if there's something you have or there's an approach you have, either, you know.
I'm just how you see me now. If I showed you my show reel, you'd go, he's just got a different costume on.
And did that take you a while to get comfortable with, or you
no, because that's me.
You just like
just me.
Roll the dice.
Yeah, no, just me. I'm playing me.
Yep.
I just me. If I'm playing Sons of Anarchy, the only thing I'm doing is changing my accent. That's all I'm doing. I'm just putting
good job with that, by the way.
Scottish accent, no, Irish accent on, but it's still me. Yeah. If I'm playing an underbelly, the biker, it's this guy you're talking to. Wentworth, Turk, had a bit of an accent. You know, it's still, if you watch my show reel, you'll go, I've answered your question. But that's just me, I'm not talking about, what actor's your favourite actor?
Current or all time?
Oh, anyone, doesn't matter, current.
Yeah, I'm a big Harvey Keitel fan as well.
Okay.
But I think he went from not being the professional actor to just being someone who had a lot of charisma. I don't know if you've seen Who's That Knocking at My Back Door, which is just a really well-headed
great
actor. But yeah, to become that intense over a short series of films.
Intensity comes from experience, right? That'll come. But Harvey Keitel is Harvey Keitel in every movie.
Yes.
I was going to say, like,
every movie.
This is a really hot take, but...
Yeah. He came out of his trailer and went, hey Harvey, he's Harvey Keitel in the movie. He's
not a good actor, he's him. He's just, he's
perfect at himself.
Yeah, and he has that ability that Dad kind of has to break through those barriers of fear, and then he has words to say, and he's going to say them with courage. So there's that, but then there's acting, and I would say, like, maybe Al Pacino, like, the way he can act, but
what do you think of Philip Seymour Hoffman?
Philip Seymour, see, I don't know enough about a lot of actors.
Joe Pesci, you know, Joe's Joe.
Yeah, he's my favourite actor.
See, if you look at any of your favourite actors and just watch them in, say, not watch the whole movies, just say get 5-minute clips or 10-minute and watch them, they're not any different. They're the same person. Robert De Niro is not any different in any of his movies. He's just playing a different character. He might be. What about the Fockers? He's the mafia guy in the Fockers. Still the same dude. Like, you got to get Tom Cruise. Tell me whenever's he been different. What, he can sing and dance. He's still Tom Cruise.
There are exceptions, though. You have to admit.
Where? Who?
Heath Ledger, Philip Seymour Hoffman, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, but why is Heath Ledger?
Heath Ledger embodies.
That's what I'm trying to find. The guys that actually do a thing in a way where they're embodying completely different.
So when he played the Joker.
Well, when he played the Joker, it's totally different from Anna Stalmar from Brokeback Mountain. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. But you've got to remember that's playing a character that's not real.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's not all actors can do that. And who would be the best at doing that, or was? Johnny Depp.
Yeah, like Johnny Depp, Jim Carrey are the mainstream versions of being character acting.
Crazy guys out there. Like if you had Jim Carrey in this room and he's talking to you, we'd be all like,
Rob.
Wow.
Yeah, he's an interesting character. Let's just say that.
But they're still them. That's why they can play those characters. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
you couldn't. Robert De Niro couldn't play the Joker. He could, but it's not going to be like, you know.
It would be funny.
It'd be funny, right?
He was in a Joker movie.
It's just you. It's that person's playing what they are, what they're good at.
That's actually an interesting topic. I'm thinking right now, because that's what I was thinking. Is you have really good actors, which a lot of them we just covered are the same in every movie, and they're the same when you meet them. It doesn't take anything away from them. That's just them. But then, where's the fine line drawn when a really good actor becomes a character actor just because they're playing different versions of things that are so far from themselves? Daniel Day-Lewis is always a character actor.
Yeah.
But that's weird. That's how you've actually.
See, it's funny that he's stopped acting now, and who knows why? Maybe it's just he just needs a rest.
I heard he might be coming back for Scorsese's new Jesus movie.
Oh, there you go.
That'd be a good.
Maybe he just needed time out to just get away. Because how intense is that? Playing those characters all the time, like getting into those characters, like what Heath Ledger did for the Joker, what Johnny Depp does, like the preparation to get those characters, and Daniel Day-Lewis when he played Lincoln, right? I think we were at an event in LA where the director who was introducing Chris Hemsworth at the time, saying how he found Chris and all that. Do you
Sorry, I just need to stand.
Oh no, that's right. You can stand. Well, you can come out here and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, see, that's what you got to do. Get out here. You said okay. Come on.
You're kidding me.
No, you went okay. No, I'm not kidding now.
Gosh.
Oh, you see,
Oh, I thought she was really
you heard my fool. You should have just kept walking. They would have gone, I want to be like that. There you go. Just introduce yourself. Tell your name and a little bit about yourself, your hobbies, where you're from.
Okay, so I'm Dawn. I can hardly see with my glasses, so I probably have to take it off because I'm not seeing properly. But I'm Dawn. I'm from Jamaica originally.
Yay!
Yeah, go Jamaica.
Yeah.
Have you seen that movie Love? One Love? Have you seen it, Bob Marley?
Oh yeah.
What? You sing, man. Wicked. Anyway. So.
Hey, did Bob Marley have a brother?
No.
I met
His son, Ziggy.
You meant
Ziggy. I met
Yeah.
in LA. We were staying at the apartment. I met him. I was talking to him. He said, I'm Ziggy. I went, speak, Andy.
Funny story. When I lived in Jamaica, he was one of my good friends.
Oh, wow.
So yeah. And my best friend at the time, she's the one who has 2 children for him. True? Anyway, so
Wow.
Ziggy was a good
See, that's
friend.
very interesting already,
Small,
right?
small world.
Wow.
And so, yes, I moved to Australia, and as a child, I always remember being on stage, acting and stuff, but somewhere along the line, I've lost my passion. I don't know why. And I think it's fear, because I keep judging
I'm glad
myself.
you brought that up.
Judging myself, seriously. And then you mentioned about Casting Network. And I've done a few things on Casting Network now. Since COVID, you have to do your own audition.
Self-taping, yeah.
It's the worst thing because you keep judging yourself. And in your mind, it's like, I've done 1 take, then 2 takes, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6. When do you stop doing all those things? That's the
You probably
question.
stop it too.
Yeah. So that's
But
why
see,
I'm
that's a
here.
good point you brought that up. That's why getting people up, because that's exactly what people do. I love auditions, but that drives me nuts on that casting. The list you got to fill out about your personal details, the same thing every time. You think they keep a record of it.
No, it's
No,
horrible.
they don't. But
It's horrible.
it's true what you said. Actors will go, oh, that wasn't good. Then you start being the critique, and then forget it. It's done because it's not going to get better.
Because the one thing that you're chasing for doing 12, you got, but then you missed the thing that you did natural on the first one. It's a blessing and a curse when you get to do it. So.
But you've gone for commercial auditions on that? Yeah, you should be on casting networks because it's a great opportunity to get in the industry, you know, so I keep going. It's great.
Oh, so I've done a bit, you know, I've been chosen and like they say, okay, fine, you know, just by looking at your headshot, they've called me and say, okay, I want you to do a little bit part, as they say. But I find out when you go in, I still in my head going, I don't think I'm going to be good. I don't think I'm good enough because I've done all these auditions, and then you just keep doing them, and you go, oh my God, I'm not good enough. So you kind of get demotivated, and like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm not good anymore.
You know, all that's not true. They're never going to call. If they called everyone that did an audition, they wouldn't get any work done. So every actor that I've worked with, they didn't tell me. I go, they're not going to. You may get one or two go, great audition, but don't wait for it. See, again, it's an expectation. If you just do the job the best you can, then let it go. Because that's part of the industry. Like I can tell you, I've done, in the last year, I've probably done 15 auditions.
And then when do you quit?
You don't quit. That's part of your job.
I want to quit.
No. See, that's part of the job is to keep going. Just keep auditioning because you'll get better. Come to classes. Coming to classes is so important because that builds your skill, right? So I've done about, I've done 3 or 4 independent films, 2 friends I know. I booked a dubbing voiceover for a Netflix movie called Marry My Dead Body, which is a Taiwanese black comedy, which is hilarious, right? My ever first dubbing I've never done, and I was a little nervous, but because I've been working on my American accent, I actually went in confident, because I've been on sets where they've gone, that sounded a bit Australian, you go, oh fuck, bad. But this time I was prepared, so I did again, it was perfect, never got told once it wasn't sounding American, right? He knows I have to work really hard at my American accent, I just have to work at it, but I worked at it, and then it worked.
I used to call him the shit American accent.
But it's part of, I tell actors in class, I told you guys, right? Get over waiting for a reply. Just do the job. Be prepared, do the homework, do the job, put it in and let it go, because it's part of the business. They're not
take it as experience.
They just
be grateful that you got to get in and get some traction with something, but I can't express enough that sensation of just doing something and creating the ability to cut in and just let it go. I really don't think. The thing that I fear is what I'm experiencing now is I've just received a bunch of scripts to read, to find ones I want to engage with. It's when I really fall in love with the script that I start obsessing over it, and all these other lusts come into it because I want to be a part of it. Yeah.
See, we're all the same.
Because I'm going to be thinking about that.
Because you really want it so badly, right?
Yeah. Okay. But do your best to just do your work and then let it go with the universe and focus on what's in front of you.
Because how many auditions have you been getting?
I get a lot.
See, here's the stupid part of here's the stupid part of our brain. Oh, I never got one. And why the hell do they keep calling you back? Because you're the worst actor in the world. They keep calling you back. No, they keep calling you back because they love what you do. You're just not right for that job.
But then you don't know that you're not right for the job. You're just thinking I'm good
enough. No. Well, that's what you think, but you're not. If you weren't good, you got an agent, right? If you weren't good, trust me, they would not be calling your agent to bring you up for auditions. They just wouldn't. You wouldn't be getting the work. So, you know, you're getting auditions. You just go, got another one. And you just keep doing it because one day you'll be the fit, and they'll go, oh yeah. Because if you could talk to every casting director, they go, we love what you did, but the people doing the commercial went, that person had a better look. Right? That's all, not better, pretty, it's just, they just had the look. I don't get any commercials at all. I've auditioned for so many, but what, I'm going to sell a telephone? Like, I'm sitting there with my kids going, hey love, this is a really good phone. They're going, it's a gangster. I'm looking at it. What the hell?
It's weird, because I have to do some really crazy stuff. You know, and you have to do it in your living room.
Yeah, I know. Forget it. How many auditions I've just done at your place? You just set the camera up and do it.
It's amazing that you guys are professional and you still go in and you might not get
I know,
but you still do it.
Oh, here's one.
That's good.
I did an audition for Planet of the Apes last year. No, the year before. I don't know. Anyway, I did it in LA. they said specific, and you got to read the directions on what they send you on casting networks. You must read what they want. Don't go off on your. That's a good question. Don't go off on your own. They want you to do exactly that. So they said, we want you to audition for the elder ape. Don't try to be an ape. This is the best thing I show it to my class. Do not try to be an ape because you're not. We're going to train you. Just do what you can. Give us an essence. Just give us this much. He doesn't speak. You make up your own sign language. Don't use real sign language. Make up your own. So they're saying be free to play an ape, but don't try to get it right. So I did exactly that. I booked a job. I played an ape last year. I played the elder ape, right? But I just did what they said. And I made up the sign language. What you asked about characters. I just believed I was talking to the ape, so I didn't know what I was going to do. But I thought, well, heart, hands. So I was doing this and going heart, you know. Now I nearly went like that. So I did all that. I got the job. When the guy I taped with in LA, he said, "Have a look at this." The girl that came in, they gave her the same direction. She didn't get the role. There's no way she would get the role. She played the whole ape all over the studio. We just meant to stand here and do it. She was climbing. Let's go.
Did she go ape?
Did she what?
Go ape.
Oh yeah, she did, mate.
Yeah,
She was climbing up
yeah.
over everything. And then she did her chat to camera where you go, I'm Kodi McPhee and I'll be in Australia in a couple of weeks. She did that, she went, I'm Lucy McHerman. And then she did that, I went, what the fuck is she doing? Like they were just looking and go, well, she doesn't do what she's told.
Yeah.
Right? You just do what they tell you. They know what they want. And we did. We trained for 4 weeks how to be apes and move around and all that. So everything you're saying, so I'm glad I got you up, is accept it all. They're not going to tell you.
The classes that you're going to go to and you're going to work on scripts together and then do them in front of people, like just because you're going to have fun doing that. I personally would have fun doing that, but just appreciate that the auditions you're getting are the same process, the same thing, but you're actually putting things out into real opportunity. That's that next level.
Every time you get a real audition, look at it as another opportunity. Don't look at. Of course, you can say I want the job, but just treat it as this is what it is now. This is my opportunity to get the opportunity to get a job, right? See, can you imagine now? See, this room already has changed. It's already changed. You could all be in an acting class now because you all know a bit about each other. So you've all spoken, you've all had a chat. Now, you could actually all get up and do scenes with each other because now I can feel it, and I feel it in classes. All that little bit of things, everyone's way more relaxed. I'm sure Kodi can see it. But from here, can you see how relaxed everyone is? Like you could be in this class acting, we could have the chairs all around here and you'd all be supporting each other. It's just getting over that first little bit in the classes and then just going, hey, we're all the same. You've all brought up the same question, so that means you're all the same. Same thing, fear, okay, fear. Well, just go and do it. And everything you just brought up is really, really important because you will probably never know what... Unless you actually meet them one day and they go, oh, you did a great audition, nothing to do with you. And it's usually nothing to do with you. And if it is, you will not keep getting auditions, trust me.
So how old do you
I think she's about 15.
15?
Yeah.
Go to the first.
Uh-oh.
Should be 21.
I was in the wrong window, sorry. 21, that's a bonus, mate.
That is, isn't it?
Yeah. See, you're lucky. You get to play younger girls, you get to play older girls. Yeah.
I'm almost 30, apparently, and they still ask for my ID, and I'm not getting in anywhere without it. Yeah,
They don't ask
good.
for my ID, I go, why?